Okay, so I'll record this too for your VOD. And so, yeah, why do we think the Vayne is such a powerful ADC? What?
Late game's very strong.
Okay, now let me propose a scenario. Now, if we are playing a tank and we need to counter percentage max HP, how do we do that? What do we build in order to counter percentage max HP?
Oh no.
Okay, so percentage max HP basically means that the more health you have, the more damage that will be done to you, right? So this is also important, the max bit. So it's based on your maximum HP. Now, if it's based on your current HP, how do you think that changes the scenario?
Based on your current HP, you deal more damage when they have more
Yeah,
health.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So the max means that in theory, if you keep hitting them, you will kill them based on it doing damage that's consistent, right? Now, if we want to counter max HP, the way that we do that is we build resistances against the damage type. So by building resistances, it doesn't matter what our, well, A, we don't really get as much HP, but also it reduces this because this is affected by resistances, right? So if you're doing percentage max HP in physical damage, then you would get, say, armor, and that would reduce the amount. It'd still be based on the max HP, but then that'll be reduced after, okay? So that's one thing to take note of. The second is, what about if we want to counter, if we want to counter true damage? So if we want to build against true damage, what do we build?
Bit health.
Yeah, exactly. It's health. Now the reason we build HP is because obviously the true damage will go through any resistances we have, but the more HP we get, the more we can do it. Now, do you see why this applies to Vayne yet? What does Vayne's W do?
A W. I don't know what it does.
Okay, so a W does percentage max HP, max HP true damage. So do you see how this makes a kind of cracked? Because, yeah, it's like, if you try building HP to counter her, then she'll do more damage. And, you know, if you build resistances, it does true damage, so it doesn't really matter. Now, obviously, Vayne does still have physical damage on her basic attacks, and, you know, a 2 in 3 or 1 in 2 when you get Genzu's will be physical damage, so it does help. But the only real hard counter to Vayne is to go items such as a Frozen Heart. Now, why do you think Frozen Heart is so effective against the Vayne? It reduces attack speed, right?
Oh.
But the range is 700. So it reduces attack speed in a 700 range. So it means if you're in range to auto attack, then you're going to get your attack speed reduced guaranteed. So one of the main things you have to be careful of when you're playing Vayne is, does anybody have a Frozen Heart? And if so, can you stay away from them as much as possible in order to play the game out? But yeah, this kind of the concept of why Vayne is so unbelievably powerful, because, you know, she has this this kind of win condition of, if she gets to 2 items, she can always win a game. Absolutely always. Now, what do you think is another tool in her kit that allows her to win games when a normal squishy ADC would die?
Kite's ability.
Okay, yeah, kiting's one really big one. What else does she have in her kit, specifically on her ultimate?
Movement speed? I don't know.
Stealth.
Oh, stealth.
This is super important because ADCs don't usually have self-peel. Now, her E as well is self-peel too, but ADCs don't really have any way of peeling themselves usually, but Vayne does. And obviously, if you use your ultimate properly, you can stay invisible for a significant amount of time, which allows you to win a lot of fights. Now, what do you currently think is kind of your main issues on Vayne? Well, what do you think is the main thing I'm going to point out?
I think it's just in team fights. tend to struggle because I don't see everything what's happening.
Yeah.
I tend to forget. I tend to forget like what I'm up against as well. So I don't think in the future. If that makes sense. Like,
So I think the main thing that's gating you is mechanics.
yeah.
Because as of right now, you're not comfortable enough with Vayne in order to know when you can and can't do things. So I think this is a huge one. So on the one hand, we do need to spam some games. On the other hand, there's a lot of things that we can take into consideration while we're spamming these games in order to help us climb. So I think mechanics is one of the biggest ones because you're not seeing opportunities to go in, and you also haven't limit tested anywhere near enough on Vayne. So one of the big things that you want to do on Vayne is you want to limit test as much as possible while you're learning the champion, because you need to know how much damage you do. Now, obviously, first mistake that we made that I already covered. Now, obviously, a lot of the stuff that I mentioned in the actual game when you were playing, we're going to break that down in a bit more detail now, but just to go over it. So the reason we don't want to go Q first on Vayne is because inside of this lane, we don't really have that much use for Q early. So we're against a Twitch Morgana. So the Q is great for the Morg binding, right? But it's also platinum. So this Morg is also platinum. So she's going to be throwing Q out randomly for no reason. So as soon as she throws her Q out, if you've got W, you can just walk up and start hitting them. And the amount of additional damage that you'll do from PTA and the true damage, even early into the game, you'll literally be able to chunk them out massively. Like, massively. Right. So you only really go Q in lanes with kind of hook champions that can get you very early into the game. Things like, say, Blitzcrank and Nautilus and even things like Pike. They're all champions that will look to do something at level 1. Whereas, Morg might do, but only if she lands a binding. But as long as we're sitting behind our minions, then we're good. Now, the next big thing here is determining our leash timers. Now, one of the problems that you have is that you're leashing for way too long, and you're giving away way too much out of your laning phase. Now, Vayne doesn't mind being pushed in for sure, but Talon's also one of the fastest clearing junglers in the game right now. His clear is unbelievably fast and unbelievably healthy. So, when you have junglers that don't really need a pull, you want to be moving at 135. So at 135, you just leave and you go. So light leash. Now a heavy leash, when do you think that should be until? So this would be like really like, so cheese junglers, say if you've got, say, Fizz jungle, when do you think the max timer will be around?
I don't know.
So 39. Like, this is the last point that you want to be here. If you're here for longer than 39, you're kind of griefing your early laning phase. So, see here, where we're still here, we only just left at 139, which is okay. That's a very hard pull. But now look at the situation as soon as we get into lane. Do you see how kind of low these minions are now? It means that you get hit by one binding like that, and look, you've just lost all the minions because you came really late. So we missed one there. I mean, it's okay though. So again, just being a little bit, just realizing that she can actually do that. It was pretty good by Morg, to be honest, to go in such an unusual position to throw a Q out, but. Now here you see. Now, look what happened there. So, right here, the Morgana threw a Q, right? So now her Q is down. So what do you think we should have done in that situation?
Move and trade.
Yeah, just walk up, go for a fight, hit them a little bit. Twitch is already quite low on HP. We've got a Brand, which, Brand doesn't do too much, but the important thing is that Morgana's Q is now on cooldown for 10 seconds. So because it's on cooldown for 10 seconds, we have a 10-second window where she doesn't have a single ability, where we can at least get a little bit of a trade. Even if it's just PTA proc on Twitch, that's completely fine, right? Like, it's still something, Right, now this is the next kind of big thing. Now, if, say, for example, how to put it into... Oh, let me think of an analogy. So, let's say, for example, we want to make a new fence in our back garden, right? And the side of our house we cannot see from our back door. what would we do in order to see how much fence we need in that kind of area? What do you think?
I'm sorry?
What was that, sorry?
Can you say it again?
So, if say we were like putting new fences up in the back garden, you know, and like we want to get the side of the house done, but we can't really see it, what would we do in order to?
No, sorry.
It's fine. We just go
I'm
look,
not good
right?
at this kind of stuff.
Don't worry. Let's just try and get it like a bit more in easy kind of terms. So we just go and have a look, right? Now, one of the biggest things about that is in order to see that section of fence, we have to be able to look at it, right? Now, what do you think is the problem with kind of the way you run down Twitch?
I don't know.
Can you really see him for the majority of the fight? So here, can you really see him properly? So the point I'm trying to get at is one of the things that you have to start doing is you have plenty of prep time here, right? So you want to actually use your prep time. We know that due to the fact that we have all of these minions back here and this one, we know that we get level 2 first, right? We could see that, we already prepared for it, and we actually did start moving up in order to go. So that's good. Now the next big thing we have to incorporate into that is we actually need to move our camera as well into the area that we're going to be fighting in. Because right here, we don't need to see any of this. We know that we just tap a minion and go, right? So what we need to do is we need to move our camera down so that we can just run directly on top of him. Now, this is something that you were struggling with throughout the game in a few different points. But yeah, so we nudge a little bit, see, but then we don't keep going. And we don't even see Morgana in the bottom here. So we don't even see her by the wall there. So it was just, we have to move our camera, you know? Like, the camera is honestly one of the most important aspects to bot lane, especially when you're playing on red side. Because red side is a lot harder and your camera control is a lot more demanding. So, this is okay. So, here, do you think we... So, it's here as well, Morgana again, use their Q. So we just kind of scare them off a bit, you know? Zone them away. Because once that Q's down... Now another thing is, when you're in these kind of situations, it's important that you kind of know how the wave works, right? So Vayne is a champion that is very, very unique in the fact that she has no AoE whatsoever. Every single ability in Vayne's kit is either non-targeted or single target only, you know? So what this means is, can you ever push a wave, yes or no? Like can you ever like hard push waves over and over?
Not really.
Yeah, no, never really. Like, the ability to hard push a wave with Vayne doesn't really exist, and there's no real any way of getting around that because you'd rely on attack speed. So the main kind of thing that you want to be looking for is to just only go for last hits whenever possible and just build up big waves after big waves. So like, sorry about that. So like in these situations, we're just looking to build waves up and then zone them away as much as possible. Now, eventually the waves will get big enough that the minions don't die to it, but this will actually give us the ability to, do quite a lot. So right here as well, again, what we're looking for is for the Morgana's Q to be used. And then, so look, like here, like these minions are going to die super quick, right? But we can at least get some poke while they're walking up like crazy here. So, and then this we get a lot. What do you think was one of the big... Yeah, what do you think was one of the biggest issues here though? So this is okay.
I didn't respond fast enough? Or?
No, I mean, we did okay, to be honest. The main kind of issue here is that we're not using our Q as an auto-attack reset. So whenever you want to go for a fight as Vayne, you want to auto and then Q because it instantly gives you another auto-attack. Now this is super, super important on Vayne and it's important on all stages.
I missed auto or something. Oh no, never mind.
No, we just came forward. So what do you think? How do you think this situation would have changed if you would have reset your auto? If we just played back,
I would have killed her.
Yeah.
Maybe. So well, maybe because you had flash, but.
So we would have. The thing is, if we would have reset our auto, we would have got 3 stacks on her, and then with the brand burn, that we wouldn't have needed our E, in order to do that additional damage. So we wouldn't have actually needed to condemn it because we know right now that the Vi could be around this area. which it turns out she was. But see, we had to condemn her now. Instead, what we could have potentially done is condemned either the Vi away, or we could have condemned the Twitch into the tower, maybe killed him as well. I think condemning the Vi would have been the most important.
We did kill her, though.
Yeah, we did kill Morgana, yeah. Like Brand's passive and Ignite ended up killing her. But again, if we would have saved our condemn there, then we would have actually been able to kill the Vi as she chased after us as well. And maybe the Twitch, who knows? Because it's AP Twitch as well, so he's got Doran's ring stat. So, at this point now, what we want to be doing is Twitch has more attack speed than us, right? So, well, not attack speed, but he has more AoE. So, he's going to be able to push these waves way, way harder. Now, what's one of the main things that we have to take into consideration when we're thinking about this kind of point into the game? How much gold do we need before we can reset?
100.
Yeah,
300.
1100. Yeah. So we need 1100 gold. So 300 at this stage of the game is about 2 to 3 waves, because it's 125 per wave. So at this point we need to go, okay, well, on the next cannon wave we need to reset. So what we want to look to do is just start hard pushing these waves, so that we can just kind of avoid him having the ability to reset. And even there, like, you kind of chased after him a little bit. You don't really need to. Your goal is to just auto the wave. Even here, like, we don't even need to walk back, right? We just need to keep hard pushing. So in these situations as well, ping the wave early, because the Brand might be able to, say, W the backline. And that can help you push, you know. So a lot of supports won't realize, like, back timers whatsoever. So sometimes, you know, you have to give a little bit of a ping. But in these situations as well, make sure that you use your abilities, right? So like here, we kind of waste a lot of time because we kind of sit there and don't really auto because we're waiting for it. But we could have just autoed that cannon, you know. Because now the next wave is here, which means we need to push another wave. Which means, you know, it's a little bit risky. We're a little overextended. Obviously, Vi is top, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, we just have to get this crashed. Now, why do you think is another reason why we want to get this wave crashed in?
So we can get a reset, and so they don't get any plates.
Yeah. Now, what's going to happen with the lane state if you crash a huge wave? Actually, I think they can clear
it. It pushes towards you, I think.
Yeah. So it will pull back into us, unless they hard clear it right now, which they're not, see? So what happens here now is that this next wave gets kind of delayed, but not by too much. We did cancel our recall here, which was a little bit rough. Actually, I think it was Twitch burn.
Right.
So see here, Twitch was burning this still. So we have to just take that into consideration because it will stop our reset. Now, the problem is they have so much wave clear in this lane that we don't really get as good of a back because we didn't push hard enough, right? So kind of in this kind of earlier stage, because we weren't really putting enough auto attacks in the wave or using our Q, it meant that they actually got the chance to reset the wave instead of it bouncing. So it didn't actually bounce here. It got into a position where we can't really abuse it too much. Now, they are going to kind of start pushing this in now, though, so that's an advantage for us. But now we're in a position again where the wave is pushing into them, right? So it's like, okay, it's kind of hard. Now, why do you think it's Vayne we want the wave pulling into us?
Can get as much free farm as possible.
Yeah. So Vayne, loves being on the tower. I mean, not loves, but she can deal with it very easily because of her Q, resetting her autos. So, you know, killing minions are very, very easy. Another kind of really, really big reason behind this as well, though, is if the wave is pulling into us as Vayne and we hit level 6, we can still go all in on them as soon as Morgana uses her Q, because the amount of additional power we get out of our level 6 will allow us to just instantly kill them, right? Now, this level 6 point is one of the big kind of points where we're not taking advantage of the champion enough. But yeah, here we just want to get these last hits. Now, this is an okay ward spot against a Twitch, because obviously if he tries running you down like this, then it'll spot him in the area, and we can just kill him, you know? Because one of the things that you want to do as Twitch is kind of run around, get behind them like here, and then start hitting them, spacing with them like this, right? So if you can stop him coming in this path, then it stops his ability to do as much inside the laning phase. So again, we have no real hard push. So we're just going to rely on autos. And just rely on last hits. So, was it here? I think, no, it wasn't. So what should you be looking at right now when it comes to this lane? What do you think Twitch wants in this lane right now? What
to freeze the wave?
I mean, more minute. What do you think he's... If you're playing Twitch right now, where would your eyes be? What would you want mostly in this area?
The farm?
Yeah, specifically the cannon. Because it's super low. So what we need to be doing now is we need to kind of like walk up and play a little bit risky, but we've got our Q. We just play up here, wait for the Morgana bind, and then just Q, and then just zone the Twitch away, right? Because then what happens is when this wave, which is identical here, comes, it will kill the cannon off, and he'll lose a gold for it. So I think he does get it with his E, which, you know, is one of the things with AP Twitch, but it's okay. Brand getting caught.
Just kept getting caught in the trial, though.
Yeah, like this was completely fine because, you know, he's like the big. So why do you think this was also fine to go for, actually? Like, just so that we've got the right thought process behind it.
We didn't know where the jungler was, so I don't think so it was okay to go for. But
no, it's fine. So we did know where the jungler was. She just killed Action, and so yeah, we did know where she was. But why do you think it's also very good? Now, what's Twitch going to be doing in this scenario?
Farming.
Yeah, he's clearing the wave. So this wave is pushed in. So this is actually a good call, if anything, because he can go and clear away this vision right now, and Twitch can't really respond to it. So if Morgana tries, we just kill. So we have to make sure that we're looking for opportunities like this, because they're pretty important. And there we go, we get it, nice. Now, the reason we don't want to go for Twitch as much here is because we've already got a win, right? So here, you didn't really want to hit Twitch whatsoever. So we kill her, and then we just run. Because if we come around here right now, and we get back into a lane where we have minions, and we can play around said minions, we don't really have to take any damage. His Q is down, so we're safe for a while, and look at our XP. We're getting very, very close to level 6, so what we can do is we can just go and continue laning, and then when we get level 6, that's when we want to kill him.
Yeah, this is a habit of mine when I play ADC. It's like, I'll always try to get as many orders in on the ADC. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it's sometimes you have to kind of just realize when it's a good fight or a bad fight. So here, there's kind of a bad fight, you know, because like he will just keep getting stacks, and see we get chunked out very, very big. Now, obviously the brand ruins this, but why do you think this is an extremely good position for us if the brand didn't ruin it?
The wave would be pushing towards us?
Yep, so the wave would be pulling in. So because it's pulling into us, there's nothing that he can do to stop it. There's no way he can stop this wave coming in whatsoever. So we let it pull in, we get our level 6 off the wave, and then we just run him down. Now that's the optimal play, and that's the play that you know you should look for there. Obviously, Brand does mess it up on some ungodly reason, but yeah, that was what you should have been looking for, you know. Like now, obviously, some supports are a bit grief, but so yeah. Now, because this next wave is at our turret already, it means that their wave is going to stall here. So because their wave is going to stall here, that means that it is actually going to come back into us now. So this is good, because we have 6, and it's coming back in, see? So now, our goal, I mean, Brand shouldn't have reset, but actually no, we didn't here, it wasn't this point. So this was okay. Oh no, this is where he reset. Okay, that's annoying. But yeah, so we just go back to last hits only. And this was actually one of those kind of big moments though, because Twitch hasn't reset in a while, right? And he's AP Twitch. So let's see where you look at his thing. So another thing you want to be doing as well a lot more is you need to press tab so you know exactly what situation you're in when determining a fight. Because depending on what Twitch has here, we can potentially 1v2. But we get a little snapshot of the leaderboard right there, but you should be looking at it way more often. Just so we can determine if we can go for a fight or not, right? There we go.
There we go.
We got it. So right now we have 350 gold in us, right? So we have a considerable amount. You know, it's not too much gold, but also he hasn't really got anywhere near as much, right? And he's AP, so he's gonna play in really long fights, where he gets his stacks on you, and then he just stays in range to keep using his E over and over. It's kind of the way that AP Twitch plays out. So what we can actually look to do is Morgana is only level 4 because she died. So right now we can actually go on him, considering how many minions we've got, and we can actually kill him in this situation in a 1v2 scenario. So what we should be looking to do here is as soon as he walks up for a minion, we want to basically go on him. So like right here, for example, because we're not going to really like lose much, right? We've already got an advantage in terms of the wave, but we could actually just go on him here and potentially kill him. But see how we just let him trim. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, but see how we just let him and then even here, right? Like the Morgana uses her Q, so they have absolutely no way of stopping you dealing any damage. Because Morgana's not level 6. Yeah, so right there, like, so it already misses, right? And I mean, the thing is, she kind of missed that herself. We kind of hinted by kind of walking that way a little bit, but she's already thrown this and it's missed. So the thing is, we have no reason to tumble out here. So if anything, we should be looking to tumble in. So we use our R, we basically go straight on top of him. We ward here as we're going, just so that we get vision of her, and we just kill him. Like, we just run him down. What we can also do is save E, and because we run up like this, we can then E Morgana into the wall like that, and we can kill them both. So this is a potential 1v2 scenario. But it is a little hard to see on Vayne, and you know, these things are difficult on Vayne too, and this what makes her so strong. And like even here, see, the Morgana's still level 5, and we just allow her to take this control ward, right? So one of the main things that we have to kind of take into consideration is with trading, we have to trade around what cooldowns are available in the lane. So if Morgana's Q is down, we should just look to run in. Like even there, right? Like when she throws that Q to us, we should just R, Q in and just go. Now R usage is something that we aren't doing as much on Vayne either. Like we're getting a little greedy sometimes with our R. But yeah, so now the Viking. So yeah, here. So do you see this situation again?
Yeah.
So right here, and this is actually a good example of your R usage. So here the Vi has just chased after the Brand. So it's like, okay, she's nowhere near, right? She's gonna keep running him down. So what we should do is we should wait to see the Twitch. Which, you know, we don't initially, but what we can do is we can walk out of the brush, just to bait out his invisibility, like only, you know, that's the main goal here. So we walk out, we hit the Morg, so we just hit her with a normal auto, and then we know that the Twitch is going to come out, and we also know that Morgana is going to throw a Q, right? So when we're in these kind of situations, what we need to be doing is thinking, what can they do to us in this situation? And then that's how you determine how you need to play the fight, right? So I think here it's just a case of inexperience on Vayne, but we're just not thinking about how to play the fight yet. Because, like, for example, this Morg is just going to throw a Q. As soon as she sees us, she's instantly going to Q. Just because that's what people always do on Morg, right? So what you should do here is, as soon as she kind of turns on you, instantly R, Q, and then E him into the wall. Like E in the Morgana is kind of risky, but yeah, so that's what we should have looked to do. You can see, and look, as soon as she comes out, actually, oh no, wait, this isn't where she instantly threw it, but still. So what we should be looking to do is to just jump on Twitch. Now, Morgana isn't going to do considerable damage to us, right? She is not their kind of heavy damage dealer, but the Twitch is. So we need to focus him way more. And we had an RQ heal. We did have everything to hit him. But see, even the kind of the way we're autoing, we're also dropping stacks. Now, obviously, as Vayne, if you auto somebody once and then auto somebody else, the stacks will start applying to the second person. And the first person's stacks will disappear. So what we should do is just focus one person. And we could have potentially killed the Twitch there and maybe the Morg, or just got out. Like, yeah. Now obviously Morg's level 6, so they can do a lot more in the laning phase. So we had this kind of really big window where the Morgana kind of griefed, and we didn't really do too much to stop it. But the next kind of situation here. So when we're farming in the tower, do you know what the rules are to last hitting minions?
If it's a caster, it's one hit on the turret.
Yeah.
If it's so
if
I don't know what
is so early the casters are one auto, then one tower, then one auto. Now when you get 20 AD, so 2 long swords, then you don't have to do this auto anymore. It's just one tower hit and one auto. And then the melees.
2 towers.
Yeah, 2 tower shots. And then one auto.
One auto.
Do you know the siege?
I don't know the siege, no.
Okay, so the siege minion is 7 tower shots. And then 1 auto. But be careful with this one, because at the 6th, it'll look like it's ready to kill, but it's not. Unless you've got significant amounts of AD. So, another thing that you can do in these situations is walk up into the minion wave as yours are about to die. So what you do is walk up into the minion wave and then get these to aggro you and then just run down here like this.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then it'll you'll be able to hold the wave still, which will give you either a slow push or a potential freeze. Now obviously that'll be pretty important, because right now, see, the fact that the way that we've controlled these minions means that now it's very, very difficult for us to walk up whatsoever. Unless we see Morg, which actually we do.
I think I should have gone on him a bit early.
So
before he left.
Waiting on your ult is, fine, to be honest. But you have to put more damage into the wave. So you have to be autoing something. Because right here, see, he just gets a chance to push it. And now you're trapped into farming these minions while your ultimate is up, right? So it's like, So we have to just make sure we're putting more damage in, so that then we can walk after him as well. This is final. We get this wave in a really good spot. And again, we're just looking for opportunities. So here, for example. So one of the first big things, obviously, that we did here is this Morgana Q is gone, and again we need to instantly jump into our ult, So as soon as that Q is used, you like, your mind should be right, ult and just run them down straight away, because this Morgana is actually so far up at level 6 that, to be honest, she's a non-factor. Like, she'll use her ultimate, sure, but we can get away from it, So here, okay, she's used ult, broke the tether. But we could have also played more aggressive in this situation, right? Because if we would have ulted instantly, we could have actually just ran into the Twitch a little bit more. So all we have to do with the Morgana is wait for the Brand to proc her spell shield, and then we can E her away. Obviously, it's a little risky with your support, not being too great, but either way, though, we get push, and it's, it's not too bad. Brand does die because it goes clear vision without knowing where mid is, even though, this was a bit of a crazy roam by the mid, I'm not going to lie, considering, her wave is going to get, actually, I guess it wasn't pushed in at the time, so it was fine. Action just clears it that quick. So, that's fine. So again, we just cleared these in the tower. They were going for the dragon, but didn't really matter. So the reason we're focusing quite heavily on kind of like the laning phase of Vayne is because the champion is so difficult, but if you can get through the laning phase, then it becomes way easier to play the champion. Because like I said, as soon as you get to that Windsors, like, you just pop off. So this was fine. Right now, how we played this fight, you know, we could have been a little bit better. So first up, we Q to get her, great. And then here, so your E procs a stack of your silver bolts, right? So what we should have looked to do there is kill the Morgoth, and then just also reset our... actually, we didn't have a reset, but just 2 autos and an E. Actually, I'm not sure our Q was up. I might be griefing here. Let me just watch over it again. Oh, no. So sorry. So we did actually get 2 basic attacks on her. So an E would have just killed her. I mean, it didn't matter too much, obviously, because Bran, you know, got the kill, but...
This is kind of weird. I didn't think she had ulti still.
So, what do you think we could have done in this scenario?
Just to wave faster.
Yeah. So that's one thing.
But
so
the thing is, I didn't think she had ulti, so that's why I was like stepping up to them.
So we have to always presume the worst. Like, if we always presume the worst,
I totally get that.
Then we can when we play around it. Because here, so one of the first things we should have looked to do is just Q down here. So just Q, auto this to reset your Q, and then just keep walking, because then the Vi doesn't ult, because she's not in range. And then as soon as your ult comes up, you can actually just kill them both, you know?
Alright.
So the problem was that because we didn't use this Q, she was in range to get her ult off, which then kind of gets us a little bit. Now, what do you think you also could have done in this situation? So the Vi is going to get on top of you no matter what. Is the Twitch going to be able to damage you no matter what?
Yeah, probably.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what we could have done here is we could have flashed away.
I don't think so.
To get more distance. Well, here, so she's unstoppable and she'll knock you up eventually. But if you flash away here, Twitch won't be able to hit you. Which then gives you time to use your R and get away. Especially if they don't got this brush warded, right?
Oh, I guess.
Because here we don't get the chance to do anything.
Yeah.
Because if that brush isn't warded as well, I mean, the Vi is going to get on top of us. But actually, no, we wanted to get as much distance. But so that's something we could have done, and at least tried, you know, just to try and get away from that. Now, I mean, maybe we would have still died, but I think we could have potentially 1v2'd them in that situation. But now we have our shield bomb.
It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate, obviously. Morgana. So here we just have to kind of not walk up. So again, do you remember what we were saying earlier about the Twitch walking up? Like, there's no real reason to walk up in this situation because we have no minions, right? So this is always going to come back into us. So we just have to be patient, wait for it to come back in, and then just farm it from a safe distance. Like here, see, like, they're going to get that. We know Morg's there. But there's no real reason to walk up to this cannon just yet. Our brand is mid, Talon's not anywhere near, and, you know, Twitch could just jump on us with the Morgana ult. So it's good that you use your flash there, but we shouldn't have really needed to use it, you know.
React.
Yeah, and that's just Twitch doing Twitch things.
Yeah.
So see here, we just get a little bit impatient on the minions in the tower as well. So this we managed to. We didn't.
I hit the melee there.
Yeah. So
I don't have the targeted champions only.
Okay. Now, the thing is, with this situation, right? Like, I think even going for the Twitch here was bad, because even if you kill him, it's not going to achieve what you want to achieve on Vayne, right? So right here, as we can see, we've got 4 minions here. And there's another wave coming up, right? So what do you think we should be looking to do in this situation now that they've taken this tower way too kind of...
Freeze away.
Yeah. So our goal isn't to kill Twitch here. It's to safely get to our second item as fast as possible. Now, we're at 16 minutes, which means we now have a cannon every other wave. So our wave value goes up by a significant amount. So what we should be looking to do now is farm the wave from our tower as safe as possible. Because then if we do that, we can literally just farm into Ginzus. And then as soon as we get Ginzus, we just win, right?
Yeah.
So at 15 minutes, our wave is, roughly about 150 gold. So about 25 more gold per wave than what it was before, which means, 2 waves is basically the same as an entire kill. So maybe you get the Twitch here, but you actually get way more value out of just freezing the wave back. So it's kind of a case of sometimes a kill might seem nice, but it's going to cause you too much damage in the long run, Because now we're really, really doomed because this wave has got way too far close to the tower. And also, this action might... Well, he just pushes the wave, So we end up in a little bit of a bad situation because of this, And this all kind of came down to the fact that we tried to go after a kill on the Twitch instead of just looking after the wave. And then he just pushes this out. It's actually good that he pushes this here, purely because even though obviously we need the farm, we need to get this wave to kind of come back. And then this was interesting, but we'll take it. We'll take it. There's no harm. So now we have to crash this wave. Twitch is in mid anyway, so we're safe to crash it. So we have to get it crashed and then go and get against it, or start building into it. Now, this was another kind of situation where mechanically, if we were a bit better mechanically on Vayne, then we would have actually been able to benefit a massive amount here. So this comes down to, again, how we are playing these situations. So we start hitting this, completely fine. Okay, that's fine. So we miss our auto on that. Now, right here, what do you think you should have instantly thought
of? Press R.
Yeah. So press R, Q away, get invisibility, and then look to get her into a wall. So right here we don't use it, and now we use it, but we've got barely any HP left, right? Now we could have also used heal there too.
Yeah, it's just I wasn't expecting that.
What, the damage?
No, the Q flash.
Oh, yeah.
It's like she kind of just like step forward a bit and then...
Yeah, because she knows she will die here. Like, if you're allowed to survive, she will 100% die. So, this is kind of an unfortunate situation because we don't get these 3 camps into the wave, into Ginzus. So that actually delayed us by a significant amount. So this one, the thing with Vayne is those, like, minute situations where you don't get her off mechanically sound, that damages Vayne very, very hard in comparison to, say, other ADCs. It'll damage other ADCs as well, right? And then here, we just be a little bit more patient, Like, we missed the cannon there, which is, a significant amount of gold. So the cannon's a big old 90 gold at this point in the game. So, we could have got very, very close to our item from there. If we would have hit all those minions. But we just have to wait for it. So, see, we just kind of keep delaying ourselves here and there, And then as soon as we're at these 2 items, we can just fight. So this was, let's kind of just go over the fights now. So this was better. So I think this was after we'd said a few times, use your ult. So you managed to get this off. We do chase after her. This was a clone, but we do manage to get her here. Obviously this was only 300 gold though. So I do think, actually no, the Twitch dies anyway.
That was a bit silly of me.
Yeah, it's okay. We could have potentially killed the Morg and then the LeBlanc, but overall it's fine. We still get gold. So yeah, here now, why do you think at this point getting this Negatron cloak is really, really valuable? Perfect time to open it too. You don't know? Okay.
No, I don't know.
So, how much...
The Quicksilver sash you're on about?
No, the Negatron cloak.
Oh, right, because of the LeBlanc.
Okay. Now, how much magic resist does a Negatron Cloak give you? Do you know?
I don't know. No.
Okay, so it's straight 50. Now
15.
50, 50.
50. All right.
Yeah. Now, the like the no magic mantle going into QSS doesn't give you as much because QSS only overall gives you 30 magic resist. So getting the Negatron Cloak is really, really good. Now, in addition to this, Negatron Cloak goes into Wit's End, and Wit's End is an incredibly gold efficient item, so it's really, really good. Now, as Vayne, at this point of the game, considering we spoke quite a lot about these two items being your huge power spike, do you think you need more damage right now?
We're not, no.
No. You don't need any more damage after these two items. Like, obviously, Wit's End does give you more damage, but you don't really need it. You can actually win fights by surviving. Now, you win those fights by surviving as long as possible. Now, look at these three champions here. Like, the majority of their damage is going to be AP based. So, because of that, it means by us getting a Negatron Cloak and getting 50 magic resist, we're actually reducing a significant amount of their damage, right? So we're at 85 magic resist right now, which is going to be very, very good. Because that means that, their damage doesn't stick as easy, which they're very kind of burst heavy, especially LeBlanc and Morg. So you're going to survive burst easier. You're also going to save more HP in a long team fight against a Twitch. And the only real issue you're going to have now is going to be this Vi. So by building this item here, you've in theory got rid of 3 main damage dealers, kind of significant damage in this situation, right? Which is very, very good for you. So, yeah, in this situation now, by getting this is very, very good. And then it'll build into a Wit's End anyway. So, again, it's just really, really good in this situation. Now, magic resist is also a lot more beneficial in comparison to armor sometimes because, if they've got a lot of burst, you'll reduce it. So right now, as we can see, we have 85 magic resist. So right now, we're getting close to 100, and a good base point to know is 100 MR is a total of, they'll only do 0.5% magic damage. So 0.5 times magic damage. So you will basically be reducing their magic damage overall by 50%. Roughly, almost 50%. So this is obviously a huge amount at just this 100 mark, so it's extremely good. Same for AD as well, but items exist that makes AD better. Now, the reason why this is important is because not only are you reducing their damage by 50%, you effectively have 100% more HP, like effective HP, because you're reducing it by this amount. So you end up with a lot more survivability, and you can do a significant amount more damage because you just need to survive on Vayne. So these are kind of the things that, are very, very important to playing a champion like this, where you just need time. This is fine, we get to clear these waves off. Unfortunately, we did get caught there by the Morgana Q, which was pretty rough. So here, yeah, we kind of tumbled into it, unfortunately.
I feel useless when I get caught out like that.
Yeah, so that's because technically are, that's kind of the catch to getting CC'd, is you become useless for that period of time. So one of the big things that we need to do is, where our eyes are too focused on this Twitch only, right?
Yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah, well. So our eyes are just completely focused on him. So that's kind of like a big issue. Because right here, we've got a big wave here. And the Morgana's on this side. So if we would have just walked like this, instead, we would have dodged this Q and we would have killed him. So making sure that you determine, again, it's kind of like you have to determine what's going to be danger to you. And that's how you avoid it. Because, yeah, unfortunately, he just shuts it down, but that means that we don't get a gold for it, which would have got us very, very nicely close to our Wit's End, And then, obviously, Action gets triple, that could have been our triple, but either way, this is kind of one of the difficult things playing short-range ADCs, is that CC is very effective against you. So...
I don't think so. It was worth it chasing the Vi.
Yeah, probably not, but I mean, it worked out. I guess we'll. So here again, it was just kind of judging where the danger comes from, and so the thing is with this is it's kind of like the reason why you're getting in these situations is purely because the champion is so hard. So because you're concentrating so much on what you're doing with the champion, you're missing these cues, right? Like all as in cues, as in like cues of danger, you know. So like here, for example, we kill a LeBlanc's clone, so it's like, okay, this is a real LeBlanc. So right here, what we should have done is we should just waited, and then just kind of, we ran up way too close. We could have just gone around here like this and queued her, and then still got up this way, right? Oh, sorry, just done damage. So instead, what we do is we kind of walk into the range of the LeBlanc, and then she instantly queues us and we die. Whereas we could have just killed the Morg and then killed the Vayne off as well, right? Which we do get revived. That's one of the things that Akshan is very good at. But yeah.
So why do I build the QS here?
Because you can use it against the Vayne to bait her in. Now, one of the things that Vayne's CC will do is it will still kind of knock you up, but what you can do is if you time it correctly, you can still use your kind of mobility, right? So as soon as she starts coming for you, what you can do is you can use your QSS to just get as much distance as possible, and that'll kind of drag her into your team, right? So
right.
It's super effective. Let me just... let me see if I can find... so... There's actually... There we go. Perfect example of it. So watch this video. So, let's just see where she ults. Okay, here, right? So... Watch what this Draven does. This is a little bit of an old video, but do you see how she ults? He uses flash to get away, and then he instantly QSS's a knockup, you see?
Oh, right. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. So then, all of a sudden, the Vi is in the middle of their team, and she has to flash to get away, right? So...
do you have to time that perfectly, though?
It is hard timing, yeah. It is a bit difficult. I'm fairly certain it still exists. Like, this would be something that would probably need a little bit of testing. But I'm fairly confident it still exists. But yeah, you can basically bait Vi into a death and not actually get messed up by it, you know?
Right.
I'm not sure if it got removed.
You can tell me later if you want.
Yeah, I'll have a look and then let you know. But the... So it's not available during airborne effects, but yeah, I think it still works. The suspension will be fully removed by Quicksilver. Yeah, so I think so. Again, it's something you'd probably have to test. I mean, I'll test it at some point, but I'm pretty sure it still exists. Right, so...
So this is why I didn't know where to go.
Yeah, so the first thing you have to do in this fight is you have to just kill off whoever's easier to kill. So right here, just kill the Morgana. You're invisible inside this anyway. Just go and help the Akali. Because if you kill the Morgana with the Akali, then the Akali can help you kill them too, right? So here... Yeah, we do manage to kill her. Now, we should have just instantly E'd there as well. So, see if we instantly E her, she actually gets caught in the wall from her Q. And then we just...
Oh, just there, yeah.
Yeah. And we just kill her straight away. So we do... This is, again, kind of one of them things that, like, you're kind of walking into team fights without knowing what you want to do in the fight, if that makes sense. So, like, in this period, we had a massive amount of time that we had to evaluate what we wanted to do in those fights. But then when we got into it, we were kind of playing it fully reactive, right? This is one of the biggest problems you're actually having on Vayne right now, is everything that you're doing is a reactive kind of decision rather than a proactive decision. And this kind of one of the things that you can't really do on Vayne in comparison to other champs, because she's very short range and she has to peel for herself. So in those kind of situations, like, you have to instantly be like, okay, I'm ready to E when it comes. I'm going to instantly knock her, boom, boom, boom.
Just so I don't forget, I just want to ask a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
I'm looking to join another team. I don't know if you know, like, anywhere where I can look to find a new team to join.
What region are you in? EU, NA?
EUS.
Whack it in the Looking for Team channel. I'd say just put it in there, and then, you know, like, just see who's
in
interested.
the Sensei, Game Sensei.
No, just in my Discord. You're in there, right?
I don't think so, no.
No, you are.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
You're in my Discord. There's a Looking for Team channel in there.
Oh, which one is that one?
It's like a little challenger icon. If you just go on my account on Discord and go on mutual servers, you'll see it there. My name's like in it. And then you just put in looking for, just see if there's anybody that, you know, want to play like regularly. Obviously, it's hard to get like officialized teams outside of like uni, college, and stuff like that until you get into kind of like diamondish. So overall, I'd probably say, you know, if you can find a casual team, do it. But firstly, probably grind. If you want to get into like a better team or like a more officialized team, I'd probably say just grind out diamond as quick as you can.
Right.
And then things become way easier. So yeah, so this final team fight was a little bit risky. So here we kind of run into the Yorick when there's no vision. And, you know, so this is, again, like, I don't want to sound too much like a broken record, but we kind of went into this fight without evaluating what we had again. Because we've got our QSS available for if Morgana manages to land a Q on us. If we were to QSS here, we were still in ult, so we could just Q back, get behind in safety, and then we just kill all of them. Yeah. But then, obviously, because we don't QSS, the Twitch just gets to rain down on us, and then the Vi comes in and just finishes off the kill. So this is where we revive, we kill the Yorick. Yeah, but I think if we had like the pop, maybe we could have done it. There's nothing really else for us to try though at that point in time.
Getting carried by this action.
Yeah, he revived us a lot, to be fair.
And we got lucky with the Drakes as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We managed to get him, which stopped them getting soul, which is good. Right, so...
Was this a bad team fight as well? It didn't flash out this time.
So this was good, but the problem was that we weren't watching what was happening enough, right? So this could have been good, but as soon as we see them go on the Talon here, we need to be prepared to like fight with all the action. They look so similar. So as soon as they went on him, now we know that they're going to be running down there, right? So we need to always think about our position first. So position and then do damage in that order. So position, then damage, then reposition. Ooh, that's meant to be a 3. Then reposition. Because right here, we don't think about our original position, and that ends up getting us like really caught, right? So like right here, now we're kind of awkward and we're kiting away as much as we can, and then we end up jumping into them, and it's just kind of messy in general. But you know, we do.
Can I have a look at it again?
Yeah.
Quick?
So
see
like
what I'm doing
here,
wrong.
So here, for example, the Morgana isn't our target. The Morgana isn't the person that we need to be careful of, especially considering the Talon has jumped on top of her, right? But we need to be dangerous of the Vi. Because remember, we've got this Wit's End, we've got QSS in this, so we have plenty of MR. Like, we're at 118, right? So we're reducing, you know, a large amount of their damage. Like, so, what we need to be doing is we need to kill the Vi and the Yorick off, which we can do very easy because of our W. So right here, our goal should be to space. So we should be here right now, right? Like, we should be here dealing damage to the Vi so that the Yorick can't jump on top of us. Easy peasy. And then, as soon as the fight switches, so as soon as the Vi, I think she flashes out here. So as soon as she does that, we instantly go on the Yorick. We don't chase after the Vi. Like, so Vayne is a champion that plays front to back. So front to back. So you just hit whoever is at the front. That's all you do. Like, at this point of the game, while you're this fed, you just hit whoever is at the front. That's all you do. And then eventually you'll get to the back line because they'll have no front line. So this kind of the thing that we have to take into consideration at this game very, very hard, because it's like, here, okay, we do a ton of damage, great. She's now at this fight and she's this flash. Now we need to kill the Yorick off so that, you know, he dies. And then what do you think is going to happen once the Vi and the Yorick are dead? Who do they have left on their team to do damage? They have a
Twitch and LeBlanc.
Yeah, they have a Twitch. They have a LeBlanc. And they have a Morgana, right? Or is she... No, she didn't die. And they have a Morgana. Now, what do you notice about all three of these champions?
They're all AP.
They're all AP, yeah. So, they're going to do no damage to us. So, once these guys are dead, we just win every single team fight. And this is one of the hard things as well to Vayne, is knowing when you actually win those team fights. But in that situation, as soon as they're dead, you win every single team fight. And you'll just lifesteal it all back up, and it'll be really, really easy. So yeah, we just have to make sure that we just play those fights correct.
Everyone's stealing my kills.
Yeah, feels bad. Support Vayne. You hate to see it. Look how much damage she did there, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's just nothing. So it's like, and she's meant to be an assassin. She's meant to kill you 100 to 0. So this is why these items are super important, and why the build that we went with here just allows you to survive very hard. Now, obviously, there was a lot of information here because this champion is extremely difficult to play. But yeah, I'll upload it onto YouTube anyway, so that you can go
I'll definitely watch it again.
But yeah, there's a lot to obviously take into consideration, but the champ is amazing. Like, she's very difficult, but if you can get used to her, she's probably one of the best ADCs in the game. And she's kind of stood the test of time, you know? Like, there's very rarely a time where Vayne is completely unviable. So yeah, so I think focus on those things. I'll stop the recording now.